Hey, Shabbat Shalom Kingdom family. I have a little testimony for you all today, right? So last week Thursday, my vehicle started giving trouble and I had to get it wrecked. So when the wrecker man showed up, I was in the process of doing some video editing. And so my focus was, okay, just focus on getting this done. So between the time of him picking you up to drop you to your destination, focus on that. But when I sat down in the vehicle, he's still connecting my car to the wrecker. And I'm like, I said, Father, what to tell this man today? I said, may not be selfish and focus on what I want. I said, what can I share with this individual to impact him or to point him to you or to enlighten him? So I'm there and I'm sitting. And so when big man reaching the vehicle now, he's sweating, like bucket a drop wet. And I'm watching him like, I reckon walk hard, boy. You can walk real hard if you see sweat. So I just watching him, side-eyeing him a little, and alright, he jump in the vehicle, heading down the road. And I'm asking Father again, I'm saying, okay, so what to tell him? What to tell him? And I first started off with a little small talk in terms of what's trending globally, and I said, so what do you think about what's happening in the US? And he's like, well, I don't really pay attention to these things. So I said, well, it's good to pay attention to these things because we need to be aware, and I just summarizing everything. So he was like, yeah, true, and all these different things, right? So whilst me chatting with him now, I'm still connecting with Father and asking, okay, what to tell him? What exactly should I tell him to minister to him, to witness to him today? And the Most High led me to tell him about the Sabbath. Okay. And so the conversation ended up we're turning around where he said he works Sunday to Sunday. So I was like, yes, swinging the Sabbath talking now. When he said he works Sunday to Sunday, I said, that's why the Most High gave us a day of rest, right? Because we're not created or designed to be so overworked. And I said, even though you have ends to meet and whatnot, I said, when you think about it, work don't die. We do. And no matter how much work you do, you will always have work to do. And besides that, the Lord is so gracious to us that He gave us a day because He understands that not only we need rest, but it's like an appointed time to meet with Him as well. And in addition to that, there is no rat race and no hustle mindset in heaven, right? So by us resting now, it's us preparing to spend that time with Him as well in eternity. And He gave us 6 days anyhow, so why not just take a day of rest? So he's in full agreement, very open, and engaging and excited as well to hear what I'm saying. So I'm like, nice. While chatting with him, I just had to give him a brief summary as to what the Sabbath is about and why it's important for us to rest. And he was most happy to receive it. He even said, well, he do go to church on a Sunday, but sometimes they overwork him so much this Saturday that he can't even get up to go to church on a Sunday. And he said, I know about the Sabbath, but I didn't know what day it really is. I thought it's a Sunday. So I'll give him, I have to give him a history on where the Sunday worship came about and give him a little history on Constantine and how these things were implemented and all these different things. And the long and short is, by the end of the conversation, by the time I got to my destination, this gentleman was so happy to have heard about the Sabbath, because I told him, just in summary of course, but I told him everything he needed to know in terms of the importance of it, the fact that it's our time to meet with God as well, because it is an appointed time. And I even gave him an example. I said, if it is you courting a girl, before the days when we had cell phones and all of that, and you said, let's meet on Wednesday at 8, and she shows up Tuesday at 5 or maybe Thursday at 2, I said, she's out of time, right? And he said, yeah, true. I said, because you set an appointed time, and if she's too early or too late, then she's the one out of time. And I said, it's a similar thing when it comes to keeping the Sabbath. I said, the Most High didn't say the Sabbath is any day. He said what day it is, because he asked a lot of questions, what day it is, how I know it's that day. And I broke down everything for him as simply as possible. And the long and short of this is, by the end of this discussion, when I got to my destination, this gentleman was just so happy to have heard about the Sabbath, because you could tell he was a hard-working guy. You could tell, and hard-working hard. And because of this information, he received it with joy, and he was like, thanks for sharing this with me. He said, I never really knew it from this perspective or knew this much about it. And he said, now that I know and I understand it, I can apply for a day off, because his workplace did offer to give him a day off. And he said I could now apply for the Saturday, because I know the Sunday is not the true day now, because I was thinking to apply for the Sunday, so he's like, I'll now apply for the Saturday. And the point in all of this is, my dear brothers and sisters, Father is so invested in our rest. This Sabbath day is a blessing to us. Father commanded us to keep it so that we can be blessed. Father wants us to spend time with him, to have that set apart and set aside day with him. And it's also a preparation day as well, because he's preparing us for eternity with him. And all these are things I shared with the gentleman. I said, because if you're attending a wedding, you have to be prepared. If you're going to meet the king, you're going to have to be prepared. You want to know what the king likes, how he wants you to greet him, and so on and so forth. So I said, all these things taken into consideration, I'm sharing even with you now, for those of you who may not be aware of the Sabbath. And last week I shared some Sabbath facts, and I have more facts to share as well to help enlighten you all as to what, even why and when, so that we can more tune into when is Father's appointed time and really honor him and keep the Sabbath, because it's a blessing to us. So that is another Sabbath fact, that keeping the Sabbath is a blessing for us. The rest that we need to have is needful and beneficial to us. So it's like resisting the Most High and telling him, no, I don't want your ways, I don't need to rest, or I don't care to rest on the day you choose, I doing my own thing. When in actuality, he gave it to us as a blessing. And we are rejecting his blessing when we choose to not honor his commands. And in addition to rejecting his blessing, if we choose to honor his commands on a day when we think it is, or what's told it is, or when we want to, we are also showing up either the Tuesday or the Thursday. And trust me, he set an appointed time. So don't be the kind of individual that when a date is set, you're either too early or too late. So my dear brothers and sisters, this is another Sabbath fact for you. We need to rest, and we need to rest on his appointed time. Shabbat Shalom, y'all.